Let's now get the reaction of the Pan-Africa Liquor Traders Alliance to this story. I'm joined by convener Lucky Ntimane. Lucky, good to speak to you this afternoon. Your reaction to the sentencing of the Enyobeni Tavern owners to what some say is a paltry 5,000 rand.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, indeed, we do share the sentiments that the fines meted out to the couple who own Enyobeni Tavern are literally a slap in the wrist. But what we have noticed is that these are the highest form of punishment available under the Liquor Act in the Eastern Cape. We say that the maximum charge should be 5,000 rand or 100 days imprisonment. So in that regard, we welcome that the magistrate chose to mete out the highest form of punishment. But we also understand that this is called comfort for the families who have lost their young ones. 21 of them perished because they were allowed in a tavern in an environment that we're not even supposed to be in. So we are hoping that the next phase will kick in where the capability of the owners will be put to the test, because we believe as national liquor traders, and we've said this on record, that the owners are responsible for the deaths of those kids.
So let's talk about your membership, regarding not so much the sentencing, but obviously what's transpired in these youngsters going into this tavern and obviously succumbing, all 21 of them. What has that reaction been? I mean, have they called for accountability amongst other tavern owners and other traders of liquor?
I think as liquor traders, we call each other to account, and we also follow the rules and regulations as governed by the various liquor laws. As we know in South Africa, that because we have 9 provinces, we have 9 different liquor laws. So each and every province, for example, is governed by its own liquor law. But liquor traders have crossed rank and said that this is not something that they would like to see happening in our own taverns. Hence, we are running programs across the country, working together with liquor traders to say we should not allow something similar to occur in the establishments. And we are partnering with the law enforcement officials, most especially South African Police Services and various liquor boards, to ensure that we clamp down on any transgressor or any liquor trader who seems to want to put profits ahead of the lives of our people. And we are seeing results. If we look at December period, we did not have any incidents whatsoever that emanated from liquor traders or taverns, as it were. So we feel that we're on the right track. The issue of Enyobeni will remain a red mark in our space, and we do not want to see a repeat of that going forward.
So one of the things that we've talked about is obviously the various departments in city councils that are responsible for policing how tavern owners behave and so on. But let's talk about you as the National Liquor Traders Council. Do you go around various taverns and also ensuring certain values are upheld, such as not serving liquor to minors?
Yes, certainly. On the 16th of February, when Peter Marisbeck, partnering with SARS, partnering with the Liquor Board in KZN, partnering with the economic development to ensure that this messaging is something that falls within the space of our traders, and that they take heed of this, because we believe that as taverns, we operate at the place of our communities, because the tavern setup means that we are located right within our communities. We cannot afford that we trade, without taking into consideration the fact that we need to protect the society that we operate in. So indeed, this messaging of responsible trading, not just for underage, but overall alcohol harm reduction initiatives, is something that our liquor traders are taking to heart. And we're hopeful that this behavior that we saw in December is something that's going to continue.
So, Lucky, there's a lot of focus on you as an association of traders, focus on the tavern owners. But let's go back a little bit and speak to the responsibility that parents have, for instance, or guardians have on equipping young people with the skill or the understanding of what should or what should not be. I mean, is there a certain amount of liability that parents and guardians should hold?
I think for us to respond to this is to take a responsibility as liquor traders, as parents, because the role that we play in communities means that we are uncles, we are fathers, we are brothers to anyone who comes into our establishment, but also to the community at large. Hence, the issue of Enyobeni is painful, because those parents, they've indicated that they've got 4 kids. They ought to have taken that responsibility to protect those kids that were not supposed to even be in the establishment. So our responsibility as far as liquor trade is concerned is in our role in society, where we see ourselves as parents before we are anything else. We take this role very seriously, but we also like to encourage, extend, this way to parents out there to say that, the issue of managing our kids start at home. Once they are able to want to have fun, at a tavern, we now know that, we have lost, the plot in terms of parenting this case. I speak as a father of 4. I have a responsibility, even though I'm a tavern owner myself, but I have a full responsibility to ensure that I have proper conversation with my kids and that I tell them far away from having a need to have alcohol as a form of fun.
So I suppose it's a good thing that you're a tavern owner, because we can look at the practical side of this, There are certain 16-year-olds that look 21 and certain 21-year-olds that look 16. So how does a tavern owner in the dead of night confirm that he is indeed selling to a person who's above the age limit?
I think we need to move into a culture as a country where we actually demand identification. But also we have encouraged liquor traders that if they have a reasonable apprehension that a person coming into their establishment is not of the right legal age, then they should not allow that person to buy alcohol. But also we sit with a very unique statistic as liquor traders that 90% of people that come into taverns are known to us. So if someone is walking through a door and you're not familiar with that person, then you should have a right to demand that that person produce an identification card if you have a reasonable apprehension that they might not be of the right drinking age.
And finally, what do you think are the most critical changes that need to be made to ensure that situations such as what's happened at Enyobeni do not recur?
I think we need to reevaluate or review the penalties meted out against transgressors. I think the responsibility to sell alcohol is a very big one. Anyone who is caught, not being in line with certain regulations, they ought to lose their licenses. This issue of someone being fined 5,000 rand and then after 5 months, maybe they'll come back to trade with the same behavior needs to stop. We need to be very tough and strict, not only in issuing these fines, but also in the people that we give license to. Those people have a much bigger responsibility because of the product that they sell, that if it's not consumed correctly, it causes a lot of harm in a country. And we cannot afford to hide away from this fact.
Lucky Ntimane, appreciate your time. Pan-African Liquor Traders Alliance convener, Lucky Ntimane.